if it's fine with our participants. Thank you very much po for your responses. Thank you so much.
Sino yung bumili? Tama.
Okay, once again, good morning. I hope you're still interested in the alive, awake, enthusiastic. Para yung motivation song lang at Doc Louie sa ating mga ay demo lessons. Anyway, so our next area, our next course is building and enhancing new literacies.
Ang cellphone. Okay. Istoryahay.
Parang when we hear the word new literacies, parang mapapatanong tayo, do we have old literacy? Diba? Or just an old idea of what literacy is all about. Okay. So because there are new literacies, what is our understanding about the old ones or the old literacy? So what is literacy for us? Or what is literacy for most of us? So this definition of McCormick, literacy is considered the primary skill which all future skills and knowledge acquisition are based. Okay, our definition of literacy before is very limited to um, our capacity to read, write, and count. Okay, to read and write. Okay, because when we were able to count, that's numeracy skill. Okay,
Excuse
so
me, ma'am.
our
Wala po ulit yung PPT.
wait, ayan. Wait lang po. Am I presenting in your end?
Yes po.
Yes po, ma'am.
So, Okay, sige po. So, disconnect. Hindi kinakaya ng connectivity. Kung kailan pa naman yung review class natin doon pa, yung panahon umeksena. Ayan. So as I said, our definition of literacy before was very limited to our capacity to read and write. Okay, kaya nga 'di ba pagka humangad ka sa isang pwesto, kung mandidato ka, the minimum requirement is you can read and write. Ayan. So that's literacy before. And since we're talking about new literacies, so parang ang maiisip natin ay what are the old literacies? Diba? Okay. So literacy is a primary skill. So when we say we're able to read, we're able to write, so these are primary skills. We usually need all other literacies. Okay, and the new literacy. So we must not forget what we call the old literacies because they are new. But these literacies that we knew before are very useful. There are the foundation literacies as well as I may call, and those things that we need in order to learn and acquire all other literacies that we call the new literacies. Okay. So functional literacy, see, we are functional. Okay. Literacies, we have the literacy skills, but the question is, are these skills functional? Okay, so let's find out how Cree, Kay, and Stewart in 2012 define functional literacy. So what does it take to be functioning in the society? What does it take to be very functional in the society? Okay, as they said, functioning in the society without literacy becomes more difficult since those who cannot acquire basic literacy skills have few opportunities in every area of life. And this is very true. Like for example, we have new literacies now. If you cannot read, if you cannot write, okay, basically if you cannot read, you won't be able to explore the applications on your phone. Diba? You won't be able to travel and reach other places. You won't be able to search topics in different search engines. So the skill to read is very really primary. These are foundation skills in order to acquire the other skills or the new skills that we call. Okay. And the skill to write, okay, that's very the old, okay, as we may say it, the old literacies. If we cannot write, anyway, that would be fine. But reading, our capacity to read, this is very, very important in order to acquire all other skills. Okay, to be functional in the society, to function in the society, and to be able to cooperate to the different processes. Like for example, on the model that I presented to you a while ago in the other subject about familiarization, okay? Familiarization on the language of computers, for example. So if one doesn't have this skill to read, how could you be able to be familiarized with the language of computers, for example? Yeah. So literacy, the ability to read and write, these are the foundation skills that we need to acquire other skills, so the new skills. So literacy demands change, and over the centuries, this change is driven by social, human, and technological. Okay. So what is social demand, for example, that really triggers us to learn and acquire the new literacies? Okay. The trend, for example, okay, kung ikaw na lang ang nahuhuli at ikaw na lang ang walang ganun, 'di ba? Ganyan ang thinking eh. Do you still remember the some concepts that we discussed in your um, self understanding the self? Okay, social, human, technological, understanding the self. Like our self, okay, our social self is driven by the influence of our idols, the influence of our friends, the influence of our gangs, the influence of um, personalities, different media personalities, diba? So, and the literacy, this changes are also driven by social and human evolution, social and technological evolution. Like for example, ikaw na lang ang hindi marunong. Wala kang choice kundi umattend ng training, umattend ng seminars, 'di ba? Ganyan eh. Oh, yung mga teacher na nasa retireable age na, ang sinasabi niya, I cannot really familiarize myself with that. Ay, hindi ko na matututunan yan, yung mga bagay na yan. Magre-retire na lang ako. Ibig sabihin, they can go with the social evolution. Okay? Yung mga teacher na nagpapa-encode pa, no, nagre-rent sila, o bumabayad sila sa mga computer shops to encode, to send emails for them. Ibig sabihin, they can with the social evolution. Okay, kung halos karamihan ay marunong na at ikaw na lang ang hindi marunong, that would really you to at least say to yourself about this thing. And I believe the Department of Education failed to equip our teachers and provide our teachers seminars and trainings about familiarization with the language of computer and with the applications of these digital softwares. Okay, so that is yung literacy demands, yung social evolution. Kung halos lahat na ay marunong at hindi ka pa, o baka pwedeng mag-isip ka na magpaturo. O yan. That. And then, human evolution, human really change. Lahat sila marunong na mag-English at ikaw na lang hindi. Okay, joke lang. Okay. Yung capacity, lahat sila capacitated na, lahat sila nag-attend na ng training, lahat sila marunong na. Ayan. And then technological evolution. We cannot go away from changes from the birth of these modern technologies, modern devices, even phone models really change. Sobrang bilis ng pagbabago ng mga models. Yung mga iPhone ninyo, pang ilan na nakakailang iPhone na kayo. Sige. Yes, Darwinism, Dwarfinism. Yan. Okay, so kailangan talaga. Yung literacy demands, kailangan sundan mo kung ano na yung trend. Okay? Kung ano nang meron, kung ano nang dapat, kung anong required. Okay? So, for example, ICT integration, nandiyan na yan eh. Kaparte na ng buhay ng mga guro pag-integrate ng ICT into teaching learning. So, kung wala ka pang skills to that, kailangan ready ka to be trained. Okay? Ready ka to be sent to workshops. Okay, handa ka doon. O, kaya kung hindi ka ready at ayaw mo na yan talaga, so di mag-retire na. Ganyan yung naririnig ko sa mga ibang guro. Ayaw ko nang matuto niyan. Wala na akong panahon para matuto niyan. O sige, mag-retire na. Kung mag-retire na lang, magre-retire na lang ako kaysa matuto pa niyan. Hindi ko na yan talaga kakayanin. May mga ganyan pa silang hanash. Okay. So, according to PSA, basic or simple literacy is ability of a person to read and write. But as I said, these are basic literacies, but these are helpful in order to learn other literacies and the new literacies that we call. Okay, new literacies involve the ability to communicate effectively, solve a problem scientifically. Scientifically, that could be based on facts, okay? Based on thorough stages, thorough procedures, okay, and logical procedures. And say scientific, the steps are very logical. Scientific is very okay. To think critically and creatively and to use resources sustainably. Be productive, one sense of community, and to expand one's worldview. That's according to LCC. Say, communicate effectively. How can we do that? Okay, how can we communicate effectively? Say, purposive communication. Okay, if we accomplish the purpose of communicating, that's an effective communication. Okay, if we receive the expected response from the other party, that is effective communication. Okay, so we say we are able to effectively, that we are able to relay our message clearly to the other party. Okay, because if we won't do that, if we can't do that, we cannot receive the expected response from the other party. So if this is the case, you cannot. So sometimes we have to assess our process of communication, and that if we fail to receive the expected response from the other party, means that the communication process is not effective.
Naman
And
pasok ni Bay.
now we cannot do that. It means that we are not yet learning these new literacies. Okay, we do not have yet the skills to manifest this literacies, communicate. Thinking critically and creatively, these are two of the four C's, the 21st century skills, create, creatively, creative thinking, collaboration, critical thinking, collaboration, communication, cooperation, what of course. So creatively, thinking critically and creatively. How would you think critically if you're able to look at situations from different angles? Okay, like for example, issue that we talked about this morning, okay, about system analysis. Okay, when you analyze, it means that you are doing a very critical process. Okay, analysis is a critical process because you are looking into different angles of the situation. For example, it is a problem with your learner. Okay, for example, constant absenteeism or absences. So critically, okay, you think critically, like as teachers, syempre yung message ng educational technology is for us to apply our creativity and our power, powers lahat ng meron ka into the teaching learning process in order to address issues in the field. So thinking critically is because you won't do that, at one point you'll fail in this educational technology process. So kasi hindi mo nakita yung bawat anggulo, yung hindi mo na-analyze yung lahat ng problema na na-solve mo at nalapatan mo ng lunas. Very deep. Napatan ng lunas. Ayan. And use resources sustainably. So how could you do that? Sustainable use of resources. And not just sustainably, but responsibly. Okay, we have to use our resources responsibly, especially that if we do not own the resources. Like for example, in your school, there are different equipment, the facilities that you have, iniingatan yan, pinopondohan ng government. So we have to use this not just sustainably, but very responsibly. Okay? Be productive to develop one sense of community. When say one sense of community, we are very sensitive of the needs of other people, of the needs of the community. Okay, what can we contribute to the community? Okay? Hindi lang ang tanong ngayon is what can you do for the Filipinos? What can you do for us? Some newly elected officials ninyo sa barangay, sa munisipyo ninyo, municipality, sa inyong mga probinsya. Okay, be very sensitive of the needs of the community. Okay? So it's not all about what you can get from the community, but what you can give and what you can share to the community. By simply being a role model to them, especially to the youth, to the children, to the younger generation, by simply showing them that you are very responsible in using the resources of the community, by simply modeling to them the correct attitude towards other people and the responsible social relationship, I mean very convincing social relationship by means of these things. These are simple, but this could make an impact to other people, especially to the younger generations. And these are part of the new literacies. It's not all about telling them. It's not what you tell, but it's what you show to other people, especially to the learners. Okay, and expands one's worldview. So do not limit your understanding to what you believe is right. So kailangan makita mo rin yung ano bang nangyayari sa kapaligiran. Okay? Ano bang nangyayari sa buong mundo? Ano bang nangyayari sa ibang bansa? Huwag mo masyadong i-corner yung sarili mo sa sarili mong filosofiya. Oh, okay, nandun na tayo. We respect your own philosophy, but as human beings, we have to understand also and expand our worldview. Okay, palawakin natin yung ating pag-unawa sa mga bagay-bagay. Okay, do not be close-minded. Be open to other possibilities. Now, you have to widen your horizon. So, kailangan yan sa global competition. Yung literacy, hindi pwedeng, ay, dito na, nabuhay naman kami dito ng ganito eh. Diba, parang ayaw mo na palawakin yung buhay mo. So, about nung una, di ba, may mga ganyan. Pero changes are a part of life. And we have to embrace these changes. Kaya nga, tulad nung dati, ability to read and write, that was enough before. Pero ngayon, hindi na ganun eh. Although importante yung mga skills na yan, but it's not limited to that. Sobrang madami. You're going to okay. This literacy model, okay, digital skills, competency model. Okay, at the center is the digital skills. Kasi nga, we are in this digital world. And the center of this digital software and hardware are really the center of our processes. And if not the center, these are always a part of our processes. So, kahit saan ka pumunta, computerized, medyo nagagalit pa tayo pag hindi computerized. Parang, ba't ang bagal naman? Diba? Ang posting ng grades, ba't gano'n naman kabagal? Hindi kagad namin makita yung resulta ng may mga ganyang kanas ng mga tao. Kasi mulat na tayo that we are in this digital world and that the processes are really expedited. And yun na, sobrang na-manipulate na ng modernong teknolohiya ang lahat ng mga proseso. Kaya iba na yung expectation. Even sa communication, di ba, yung discussion natin noon, sa communication, parang hindi man lang natin naisip na mayroon pang pinagdadaanan yung receiver ng message. O ganun din. Because we are in the digital skills and our expectations are very different. And so, if that's the case, if our expectations are different, everyone should acquire this different literacies na. Kung yan ang ina-expect natin sa bawat isa, so lahat na tayo, kailangan na matuto, ma-acquire ang mga bagong literacies. And what are these? The leadership skills, technical skills, business skills, and people skills. Okay. 4 lang yan, bali 5. At the center of this are the digital skills. But the other skills, new literacy, could be under this skill, technical, business, people, leadership. Oo, medyo nawawala. Tuwan ng ulan. Sobrang lakas ng ulan dito ngayon. Kaya nag-off ako ng camera kanina, nag-disconnect palagi kasi masama yung panahon. Tapos, umulan na. Malakas na yung ulan ngayon. But I'm trying my best to make it possible. How's my audio? Malabo pa rin? Medyo malabo kasi umulan. Ang lakas ng ulan dito. I hope you can hear the heavy rain. Can you hear the heavy rain? Okay. Okay. Babalik po ako ng saglit-saglit lang. Sobrang lakas ng ulan. Wala akong mahanapan ng lugar na walang naririnig na ulan. Kahit sa parte ng bahay, naririnig ang ulan. Naririnig niyo po ba yung ulan? Ang lakas. ng ulan, kaya medyo malabo yung oras. Saglit lang po. Medyo, parang malapit naman na station Tumila. Sobrang lakas.
Kayo, Ellen.